Townhall. My name is Eric Frazier. It's a beautiful day in Southern California, a great day to talk about real estate on the Homebuyer Townhall. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to join us this evening, where we're going to be talking about, I think, things that are important, things that are really important to first-time homebuyers. For example, what are some of the questions you should ask as a buyer of real estate? Questions you'll direct, obviously, to your agent to ask the other agent, or maybe questions that you should just consider when purchasing another property. We're also going to talk about commercial real estate. People are headed back into the office, and what does that really mean? And how is COVID-19 really affecting, everyone and everything? And then we're going to get into real estate. We have an extraordinary individual. Her name is Adriana Montes. She's the broker owner for Florida Dreams Realty in Florida. And she's going to tell us what's happening in Florida. Maybe you're thinking about leaving California or wherever you might be and heading to the other Sunshine State. And then we have Megan Harris with the Golden State Finance Authority, going to be talking about down payment assistance, which, still the number one barrier to get into a home today is down payment. And Golden State Finance Authority has the answer. And then we're going to wrap it up with the California Housing Finance Agency's program. They have two awesome programs, My Home and Zip, that will provide you money for down payment and closing costs. So, folks, we've got a great show lined up for you today. And so let's get started. We'll start first with introductions. First up is Adriana Montes. Welcome, Adriana, to the show. Take a moment and introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you for inviting me to the show. My name is Adriana Montes. I'm the broker owner of Florida Dreams Realty Group. Very excited to be here. I came to this country pursuing the American dream and decided to focus on real estate. And that's what I have been doing for the last 20 years. I've sold over 1,500 homes, over 300 million of real estate. And I'm still so passionate about it. Every day it doesn't feel like I'm working, but it is my joy to service all of my clients in real estate for buying or selling. So my name is Adriana Montes. It's a pleasure for me to be here. If you want to contact me for any questions, my number is 321-689-6258, or my email is adriana@floridadreamsrealty.com.
Thank you, Adriana. Adriana brings a wealth of experience, as you can see, folks. Lots of experience in terms of transactions and very, very passionate. Looking forward to hearing about Florida, where she is based. Next up is Megan Harris with the Golden State Finance Authority.
Hi, Eric, Adriana, such a pleasure to be with you both today. I'm Megan Harris with Golden State Finance Authority. We provide resources to home buyers looking to purchase a primary residence in the state of California. So really looking forward to adding to some of the information that is going to be provided here today and help make you guys be more informed as home buyers. So really looking forward to today's show. Thanks for having me again, Eric.
The pleasure is all mine, Megan. And, being informed is so important because, knowledge is power and the power is now, right? So, folks, you look out for some great information. I hope that you will share this link. If you're watching us live on Facebook or YouTube, please share the link. I'm certain there's somebody thinking about buying a home and maybe wanting some more information. Well, we have it here tonight, that's for sure. Now, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to deal with some headline news about commercial real estate. I'm going to share a video, what I listened to the other day, and we're going to get the feedback from my special guests, and then head into the other topics, the hot topic about the question you should answer, or you should ask and get answered on buying your first home. You're listening to The Power Is Now, Homebuyer Townhall. We'll be right back right after this commercial break.
Many Californians fear that they will not be able to pay their rent next month. Financial education and literacy are the catalyst for relief. So what resources are out there? A State of California program connects you with a HUD-certified housing counselor who can assist you on your financial education journey with no cost to you. Call today at 1-800-569-4287. Again, that is 1-800-569-4287.
And we're back. Welcome for those of you who are joining us for the first time to the Homebuyer Town Hall every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. We are live on Facebook. And of course, you can reach out to us directly. You just heard from Adriana Montes. She provided her telephone number. And of course, Megan Harris with the Golden State Finance Authority. And of course, we will provide their information again further on in this program. But if you have any questions whatsoever about buying a home or about getting financing, you can also reach out to me. In addition to being the host of The Power Is Now, I'm also a vice president and mortgage advisor with First Bank. My license number is 461-807. The views and opinions that I express on this show are my own. They do not necessarily reflect that of First Bank. But First Bank's been around a long time, since 1910, and we are, wow, what can I say? We work with the California Housing Finance Agency for down payment assistance, with the Golden State Finance Authority for down payment assistance. We offer FHA, VA, USDA. We even offer jumbo loans and super jumbo loans and interest-only loans. We do it all, folks. And so if you're interested in getting finance, please reach out to me. Now, you can also go to It's Time to Meet, www.itstimeToMeet.com. And there you'll find my online calendar where you can schedule a time to talk with me about your own unique situation. Again, that's itstimeToMeet.com. Now, have you been watching the news lately? You know, I'm interested to see how America is getting back to work. COVID-19 had a devastating impact on our economy. And of course, everyone is thinking that some type of economic disaster is on the way, particularly in the area of housing, you know, where all the people who are kind of gotten behind and are in forbearance plans, we're wondering if they're going to go into foreclosure. And of course, commercial real estate, because everybody's working from home. Will people go back to the office and work again? What's going to happen to all the commercial real estate out there? And is that going to affect home values also? Well, I was watching CNBC, and a great interview by the host there. In fact, let me just show you the interview.
You sounded a very positive note on your conference call. You said, we believe a full recovery of the office market is in the relative near term. It's not 3 years from now. It's not 4 years. It's something much quicker than that. What are you seeing? Why did you say that?
Well, first, David, let me say congratulations on a fabulous week at Jeopardy. That was a ton of fun to watch. What we're seeing in return to office, well, first of all, on those statistics. So we lost about 2.9 million office jobs April, May of last year. We've recovered 2.2 million of those jobs, and we expect full recovery of office employment in the U.S. middle of next year. That would be 2 years from the beginning of the pandemic. And to put that into context, the GFC, it took 6 years. So we expect to see full recovery in office employment next year. We expect to see the same. Rents will trough out middle of next year, begin to improve. Vacancies peak middle of next year, begin to improve. So what we're seeing is just a lot of return to employment, which augurs for a good outlook to the short and midterm here.
So what changed here, Brett? You know, you say, in fact, just 4 months ago, you were looking at this year and next year differently. So what's happened over this recent period that has encouraged you so much?
Vaccines. And so I think the single largest determinant to the return to office and the health of the office market is people's ability to feel safe going back to work. And that inflection point that we hit March, April of the year, when suddenly vaccines became very available, widely distributed, changed the mindset, I believe, of most office workers, and certainly the folks who run these companies, that the office environment is actually going to be a very safe environment. I would also say, David, that with the really rapid change around mandating vaccines at the workplace. We're seeing, as you know, every hour another large company saying they're going to mandate vaccines or regular testing. That also is a huge supporter to making people feel safe going back to work and in the office.
We still know, and you and I have talked about this a number of times, that companies are going to approach work differently. They're going to have hybrid models. People are not going to be in 5 days a week. What changes are taking place in the actual space itself in terms of work? Because the way companies approach it is different now.
Well, you're absolutely right. And by the way, that's one of the key fundamental drivers of our now relationship and strategic partnership with WeWork. So companies are thinking about space very differently. I think companies realize that the office needs to be a place that attracts people to the office. It needs to be a place that's fun to work. It needs to be a place that also, by the way, is rich in technology to help the tenant experience within the buildings. And as you know, and we all know, WeWork has always been a leader in office place technology and tenant experience, marrying our capabilities and managing 4 billion square feet around the world with WeWork's capabilities and creating a very interesting and fun office to work in and great technology to help you use that office. These are the sorts of things that large companies are talking to us about every day, which is the office environment is going to need to be different. It's going to be configured different. The technology in the office is going to be different. All of this about helping tenants in the building feel better about the workplace environment and more excited to go back to work.
So as you can see, it looks like people are getting back to work, and not only are they getting back to work, but they may be going back into the office. One of the reasons why inventory is so low right now is because people aren't selling. They're working from home, and if they're selling at all, they're looking at maybe accommodating the ability to work from home. So needing perhaps more bedrooms as opposed to downsizing to be able to accommodate this new environment. And I thought the other thing that was interesting about Brett's comments is the fact that 2.9 million office jobs were lost, and we have gained back 2.2 million of those jobs. And so that's a clear sign the economy is improving, getting back on track. But with the recent news of the new variant impacting those who have not been vaccinated, more and more people are being hospitalized. It's really hard to tell what the future holds. I just know that vaccines, people getting vaccinated, is the primary reason, according to the CEO of Cushman Wakefield, the primary reason why we're seeing a commercial space, people feeling more comfortable about going back to work. And of course, people having jobs, going back to work supports the housing industry, right? It supports real estate. The more people are at work, the more homes will go back on the market, the more homes that will sell, the more opportunity that exists for everyone. So I'm going to bring in my guests here today to chime in on this subject. So let's start with you, Megan. What are your thoughts about this report?
Great question, Eric. I mean, this whole scenario has really sent everyone into a tailspin, trying to figure out how to pivot. It's really exciting, though, just to see the numbers changing and turning around. It's, you know, the prospects are looking good for the job market coming back together. We've got a lot of vacancies out there with the labor shortage. I think once those numbers start to turn around, in addition to people getting back to work, more people getting vaccinated, we will see the commercial real estate sector start to, you know, pick back up again. But I also think that it's important for them to kind of get up to code, right? There's some pressure on property managers and building owners to bring their buildings up to current standards, and not just you know, building standards, but safety standards, health and safety. People care more about hygiene now. People care more about proximity. People care more about, you know, access to you know, the resources that they need on site to make sure that they feel safe. So whether we have more sanitizing stations, you know, that are kind of built in. And this has to be like an ongoing thing, right? Because the idea is not to put a Band-Aid on the issue, it's to create solutions. So I think more businesses are coming together with the hybrid models. I know our office is, specifically. I think those are kind of some of the considerations that need to be made so that people do feel more comfortable coming to work. We all have bills to pay. That hasn't stopped, right? The pandemic didn't slow that down.
You're right.
So I just think with that being said, it's really positive news. The outlook looks great. Even with the variant in sight, I think it's more prevalent than ever and more urgent than ever that people get vaccinated. I think more people are starting to see that as a necessity rather than a luxury or a choice at this point. So while it is a choice still technically, I think it's, it's really a human safety issue, right? A public safety issue at this point. So hopefully everybody's getting on board with that. Whatever your personal beliefs are, just keep your personal hygiene together so that we can all be safe as we're out here trying to navigate back into our office spaces.
Well, I like that. Keep your personal hygiene together. It's so true. It's so true, and that we need to. And for those who perhaps were concerned about getting the vaccine, it was announced that Pfizer just got full FDA approval. So now they can at least have another level of confidence that the vaccine may help them, survive COVID-19 should they get it. And more importantly, that they themselves are not impacting others because they have it and are not impacted by it. They're not affected. They're carriers of it, not experiencing any of the symptoms of it, but still they're carriers of it and giving it to other people. So we shall see again what the future holds. Another thing too, and I love what you said about the work environment. In fact, Brett White with Cushman & Wakefield said that companies don't have to get more creative in providing, not just more safer environments, but fun and creativity where people want to be there. I don't know. For me, I like working from home. I've been sheltered in place since March of last year. I prefer working from home than going into the bank. But if the bank made it more inviting, more fun for me to be there, maybe I would go in instead of just handling everything via Zoom and teleconference calls. So it'll be interesting to see how commercial real estate adopts to this new reality of work. Adriana, what are your thoughts on the matter?
Yeah, Eric, we certainly live in a very uncertain world right now. So I agree with Megan. A lot of people need to, like that term, keep your health hygiene in check. How you present to the world as far as your health, as far as how you protect yourself and you protect others, that's very important now. And yeah, we're very uncertain with this variant, this Delta variant, because it has other symptoms that we never seen before. And it's also, like I heard, it has also diarrhea and vomit, and it also dehydrates people, so people have the possibility of getting blood clots. So it's just very uncertain right now, but the idea is that as the more people that get vaccinated, the better, because people that get vaccinated minimize their chances of being in an ICU. So that's very important. They might still get the Delta variant, but they may not end up in hospital, which is pretty much what we're seeing right now, that a lot of people in Florida, at least, and most of the ones that are in the hospital and ICU are because they never got the vaccine. So it is important that we let go of those stubborn beliefs that some have, or just I don't know, conspiracy theories or whatever things you have in your mind. But the vaccine is for, I believe, is for the well-being of all of us. So as more people, yeah, I agree with the video, with the clip that you show. As more people get the vaccine, then we raise our confidence level to go back to the workplace. I'm still not sure that it will go back at the same as before, because now the meaning of home has changed for all of us. A home is not only a place where we go to sleep that provides us shelter, but also it's a place where we learn over 2020 that we can go to school, kids can study there, you can work from there. I mean, you can work out from your house. We pretty much learn to do anything from our homes. in 2020. So it will be interesting to see how we adapt to that and wanting to go back to work. Obviously, many people miss the social interaction and the social enjoyment that you get by networking, by meeting other people, by just leaving your house, and and just being in a different environment. So it is very interesting to see what's going to happen. But I'm so happy to hear that everything is very optimistic and that we are in for, although this COVID variant is very high, we're in for a good term of people wanting to go back to interaction and being in the workplace.
Well, I think that the conspiracy theories, which are pretty crazy out there, the one I heard the other day was that the vaccines are somehow putting a chip in your system or some type of electronic tracking system. I mean, it's pretty crazy what's being said out there about the vaccines, and people are believing it. And I'm not sure, what can be done about conspiracy theories outside of notable, credible individuals from the government and the private sector coming out and debunking these myths and conspiracy theories about vaccines. Because you're right, the more people that get vaccinated, the more confident everyone will feel about getting re-engaged and going back to work. And I think the economy will start to flourish again. Which, I mean, we're seeing that. And maybe this won't derail that with the increase in COVID cases and deaths as a result of those who have not been vaccinated. So this is an interesting topic. Thank you, Megan and Adriana, for your thoughts in regard to this. And, all we can do is just hope for the best and also get vaccinated, right? Hope is not a strategy. Get vaccinated if you haven't gotten vaccinated. And let's solve this issue together. Now, that's our headline news, and it is good news. 2.9 million lost their jobs, 2.2 million back. I mean, that's really a significant improvement, and we hope that it continues to improve, because employment and work is the foundation to being able to buy a home and to hold on to your home. So we are rooting for commercial real estate. All right, let's transition now to our hot topic. One of the challenges in buying a home is fear. People don't know really, some people don't know where to begin. And of course, the first place you should begin is getting your money right? Getting pre-approved. That's where it starts, right? Making sure you have the down payment, you have the credit, you can afford the payment. Just getting the finances in order. That's the first thing. And then after that, working with an experienced real estate professional, someone who's done a lot of business, they know what they're talking about, someone like Adriana, who's with us today, to guide you through the process. And then as you go through the process, I know you're concerned about, should I buy this property? Is this the right property to buy? What are some of the questions I should even ask? I don't even know what to ask when it comes to buying real estate, because I've never owned a home before. And so that's our topic today. What are some of the best questions that you can ask when buying a home or considering to purchase a home? So we're going to start back with Adriana Montes, our resident real estate expert. Been at it for 20 years out there in beautiful Florida, the only other sunshine state. California was first, though. And so, Adriana, what are some of the questions that a buyer should ask?
Thank you, Eric. Let me take the title back for Florida. We're the sunshine state. So, well, that's very important that we're addressing this topic for all of our listeners. Some of the most important questions a buyer should ask is, if the buyer is asking with a realtor, buyer can simply say, will you buy this house? So by the buyer asking this to the agent, the buyer will actually get a genuine, honest answer of what the thoughts of the agent is. So that's one of the important questions that we have. Why are they so optimistic about the house? Why do they think it's a great advantage to buy it? What are the competitive advantages of that home? And also, what are the disadvantages? So why will you buy this house? That would be one of the questions. Another question will be, based on the sales history of the house, how is this going to affect my offer? How is it going to affect the price or the number that I'm thinking about offering for this house? Sometimes when the house is on the market for a long time, it kind of becomes stale, which means that you can probably take advantage of that and start with a lower offer and see if you can get any kind of discount. And if the property has been on the market for a few days, which is what's happening in Florida, very easily, property gets sold in a few days, then you understand what the property just came on the market yesterday. Is if I'm really serious about this property, I should come with my best offer. So that would be my other question to ask an agent. And then also to make, like in today's market, the market is a seller's market. So the houses get sold super quick. There is low inventory and the prices are going up. So another question will be, what contingencies are worth putting on the contract or skipping so that my offer is more competitive and I'm in a better place to win that offer. So sometimes you look at aspects like inspection days, if you do, how many inspection days you do, or if you waive the inspection at all. Sometimes you do appraisal, like in how long, or sometimes even in a very aggressive buyer might say, I'm not doing a financing offer, so I'm doing a cash offer. I'm not really worried about an appraisal. Also days to close. So if you're buying in cash, or if you have a person that has already pre-qualified you, pre-approved you, like Eric can, then you'll be able to close much faster. So that will be a competitive advantage of something that you can put in there to negotiate. And other advantages like not having a home inspection. If you can put that in there, the house being sold as is, like if you just take it as is, regardless of whatever you find on the inspection, or if you're going to ask for repairs. So those are the type of contingencies that you will be asking your agent which ones to consider putting on the contract or getting rid of. Yes, Eric, those would be the top 3 questions that as a buyer, I would ask my agent. So why would you buy this house? Any advice in regards to the sales history? How long has this house been on the market, and how can I use that to affect my offer? And also, what contingencies I should be considering to make my offer stronger or to negotiate with?
Adriana, those are really great questions to ask your agent as a buyer. And if you are a first-time home buyer, or maybe you're not, and you bought a home several years ago, now you're back into the market, in many ways, you're probably still a first-time home buyer. I mean, because things have changed and the environment has changed, and knowing the right questions to ask is so important. Now, Adriana, I want to take you to task a little bit on some of those questions. And I'm wondering, is it fair to ask a realtor if they would buy that house? I mean, because, it seems like they're kind of trapped to say, if they're recommending it, then one would assume that they would buy it, but not necessarily would they buy it to live in it. Maybe they would buy it as an investment. So I don't know. Is that fair?
Well, I think any question is fair, and it's just the duty of the person who's being asked, the agent in this case, to answer that to the best of their ability, and also interpretation that if they were a buyer in that position, with that kind of cash, with that kind of credit history, with that type of family, or in that type of plan for their lives, that's a house they will buy or they will not buy. So as long as you're able to put yourself as a realtor in your buyer's shoes, then I think it would be fair if somebody asks you that question.
Well, you know what? I totally agree with that response. And so it is truly all is fair, right? In war and real estate. Now, you also said, the buyer should ask their agent if they should maybe remove some of their contingencies in order to make their offer more attractive. Are there any contingencies that you would just simply not be okay with recommending to your buyer to remove, just on principle? Or are you saying that, it's completely up to the buyer to if they want to remove their loan contingency or the inspection contingency, what have you. Because I'm wondering about, that relationship of that fiduciary relationship, that relationship of kind of trust and protection. You're the expert, they're not. Where do we draw the line there?
Yeah, Eric, I agree on that. As far as somebody that is getting financing, I will not be comfortable if they waive the appraisal contingency, because that will mean that escrow will be on the line if the property did not appraise and they obviously couldn't get the financing and didn't want to put the additional money down, then they will lose that. So that would be a problem for me, for them to waive if the buyer is getting some kind of financing. Unless the buyer is putting like a 50% down payment or some large down payment that it really wouldn't make such a big difference. And as far as the inspection, I would be a little uncomfortable if they waived an inspection, especially if they have never seen the house, or if they have they're from another state and they just send me down here to see the property without them seeing the property themselves. I will recommend that they waive the inspection if they are able to come and see the property on their own. And also they can always do an inspection prior to getting into contract. So they can do the inspection and make sure everything is good, and then getting into contract already doing one, then at that point, it doesn't matter if they waive it.
Excellent answer, Adriana. This is why you are a VIP agent. Adriana, folks, brings a lot of experience. In fact, you can go to our website at thepowersnow.com, and there you'll find real estate affiliates. And there, in fact, all of our extraordinary real estate professionals are there with their full bio, and you can see why Adriana is a top real estate professional broker owner in Florida Dreams Realty in Florida. So Adriana, great information. Thank you so much. Let's move to our extraordinary lender with the Golden State Finance Authority to add to this very important topic, because homeownership, it's a serious business. I mean, you got to get the money right and you got to get the house right, right?
Yes, Eric, getting the house right. That's super important after you get the money right, of course, because there's no house without the money. And then, of course, we care about where the house is, right? Sacramento, which is one of the towns that occupy Northern California, is an interesting little town. It's got a nice mix of affluent areas and some that are not so affluent, right? There's some property blight and other things going on. And then there are properties that look nice, but the neighborhood isn't that great, because some of these neighborhoods are going through gentrification. Some of them are going through some kind of revitalization effort. And to the naked eye, or somebody who's not a member of that community, they may assume that, wow, this looks like a really great neighborhood, right? So this is where you ask your realtor the question, what is really going on in this neighborhood? What are the crime statistics? What are the demographics of the neighborhood? How many schools, hospitals, etc. do I have in proximity to this home? These are all really important questions because they're indicators of your quality of life, right? Not only when you first move in, but long-term, especially if you're considering this as, a long-term primary residence for you and your family. If you're planning on raising children here, etc., you want to make sure you have all those I's dotted and T's crossed. So your realtor is going to be a great source of information when it comes to that kind of anecdotal data, as well as something they may be able to research for you. If they don't have the answer, they may be willing to find it out for you. In most cases, they will. So I say, ask questions about the neighborhood and do your own inspection, right? Drive by at different times of the day. Check out what it looks like at 6 o'clock, right? What's the rush hour energy like? What are the traffic hangups that you'll have to deal with coming in and out? What's it like at night, right? Do you feel safe at night in that neighborhood driving around? Are there any sketchy, situations going on that kind of give you pause? So these are all things that you can do to help formulate questions for your realtor, right? After you do a drive-by at a certain time of day, ask your realtor some questions about what you saw, if you saw anything at all, right? So those are some great places to start, just in selecting the location of the home. And then once you actually get the house, good questions to ask are, what kind of repairs have been made to this property? Are there any significant repairs? What are the value of these repairs? What rooms have been updated or modified, if at all? Those are factors that could impact not only the value of your property now, but going forward, especially if you end up having to make improvements yourself or repairs yourself to the property. Which brings me to my third question that I would ask a realtor. Do you have any repair or installer people that you can recommend to me in the event that I need to make repairs or improvements to this property? A lot of realtors are very experienced at remodels, staging properties where they're presenting the home to show to potential home buyers. That being said, a lot of realtors are incredibly resourceful when it comes to tapping into folks that can provide these services for you, whether you need new carpet, roofing, HVAC system, whatever the case. So your realtor can be an excellent resource for providing you with additional information you need to help make homeownership a little bit easier for you.
Megan, that's really fantastic and great questions, great observations. I mean, this whole idea of checking out the property at night is so important. I mean, I know there are thousands of people who have bought a home, never went there at night. They always went during the day to check out the property, to show their friends, hey, we're gonna close next week, that kind of thing. And they've never been by the property at night. And then they get into the property and, they're there and darkness falls and they see all this shady stuff going on at the corner. I mean, that's real, folks. That's real. Great question. What's going on at night? And or maybe the realtor won't know, but it's up to you now to go find out by driving the property at night. And then also asking about major repairs. I think that's also a very good question. What major repairs have been made to this property? Now, in some cases, you would think in order to kind of justify the price, the seller might be forthcoming with that. Hey, we just put in a brand spanking new HVAC system, or something like that. Or you never know though, maybe they had a major leak and they had to tear out the plumbing. You never know, but asking about major repair, maybe they had the sewer back up because tree limbs growing into the pipe and they had to put in new sewing. So I think it's good to know about major repairs, and it is a question that an agent could ask. Another thing too is that just to kind of add on, because it's great that Adriana kind of talked about contractually some of the questions asked, and you've gone into the house itself, right? And some of the things, and I think what a great contrast here to look at in terms of questions. And that would be also the age of the roof, how old, how old the house is, but is the roof as old as a house? I mean, what if you're buying a 150-year-old Victorian home or, our older home? And what about the age of the air conditioning system and a heating unit? I mean, those things aren't designed to last forever. And so it appears to be working fine, and it may even pass home inspection. But it'd be a good idea to know that this house is 60 years old and the original air conditioner is still there. So it'd be good to know. So let's see here. Are there anything else you guys can think of that would be of importance? What about maybe buying a property, Adriana, that's a condominium or a townhouse? What are some of the questions maybe they should consider there?
Yeah, Eric, that's very important since we have, now so many condos being put for sale. So one of the major questions is how much are the HOA dues? Because HOA dues nowadays could be very expensive, and that could take a big portion of the debt to income ratio, or if you're renting the property, that could take a big portion of your gains. So that would be a question to ask. And also another question that a lot of buyers sometimes don't think about asking is are there any HOA or condo assessments coming up? Sometimes the condos want to change the windows, or they want to redo the elevators, or paying outside, and all of that could easily double your condo or your HOA dues for a few years. So that's something very important to ask. Are there any HOA, how much are the HOA dues, and are there any assessments that they can find out from the HOA if are coming up?
Wow, you're so right about that, because those assessments could result even in a higher HOA dues to be paid monthly. And you made your decision to buy this property based on what you could afford now, not on something that'd be happening later. So again, wow, great questions to ask. I'm going to go back to Megan for one final time. Megan, you brought up hospitals, and it's so true that you should know, where is the major hospital? How far is it away from the house? And you brought up traffic. I got to get to work, and how long will it take me to get out of my neighborhood?
Exactly, because this is quality of life we're talking about, right? Not just somewhere to lay your head at night. We can all achieve that, but we want to be able to come home, right? And when we're coming home, we want to feel good. We want to feel relaxed. We want to know what to expect. It's, within reason, of course. So if you're in a neighborhood where the commute's going to be 2 hours each way, and that's something you're okay with, great. But if that's going to be the deal breaker between you getting the property or not, then obviously that's going to have to be a heavy consideration. So I just really recommend people consider their values and priorities and what's really important to you as a quality of life issue when it comes to where you live, and apply that into a question that you can direct towards your realtor. And just to add on to what Eric and Adriana were sharing about condos, the HOA dues can be vastly different. You can have a $50 HOA due, you can have a $1,000 HOA dues. One of the questions I would ask my realtor is, what does that HOA dues, what does it cover? What's included? Is my insurance included? Are they paying for my water and garbage? What kind of repairs will I not have to pay an assessment for? Like, what are these other, what am I getting for my money, in that case? So those are some of the things, so that way you understand if you have to get insurance separately or whatever the case. So those are just some other add-ons that I think it'd be helpful when you're considering a home purchase.
Wow. Folks, if you're just tuning in, we're talking about what are some of the questions you should ask your agent when considering a property to buy. And both Megan and Adriana have done a fantastic job in laying out a number of really great questions and things to consider. And Adriana and Megan, I just thought of this. I mean, the questions do vary by property type, right? For example, I'm going to just throw this at you, Adriana, since you're the resident expert here. Multi-unit properties. If a person's going to buy a 4-unit property, what are some of the questions they should think about?
Yeah, multifamilies are very different as well, Eric. They should ask questions about insurance, what kind of insurance I can get or not get with this property. Also taxes. The taxes vary, and the zoning. Is there any zoning restrictions or something that I should keep in mind? And all of these incomes, multifamily, duplexes, triplex, fourplex, all of these are income properties. So you should be asking how much is the rent on each one, how is it possible to rent it? So basically all of the questions that will be related to figuring out what will be the income on that type of property. That would be something that would be very important to ask, because these are income properties. So properties that require much more of an analysis on your return on investment, your net profit, liability, what kind of insurance you should hold, management fees, vacancy rates. So it kind of becomes more of like looking into a financial statement of how you will handle your business buying multifamilies.
Wow, it's just a whole nother level, isn't it, Adriana? Yeah. Wow, folks. Well, I could go on here, but we are going to run out of time. We've talked about what are some of the questions you should ask as a first-time home buyer, and forget about first-time home buyer, as a buyer of real estate, period. And here's the one thing that I see a common thread, and that is you need to work with a pro. Honestly, you don't have the knowledge get the knowledge through working with an experienced expert in that particular area. And not every realtor sells everything. There's some that specialize in single family homes. There are those who specialize in multifamily properties. There are those who specialize in land. There are those who specialize in manufactured homes. It's difficult to be a jack of all trade. I don't know of a real estate agent who sells everything. And so you may want to ask that question too, and that is, what do you specialize in? All right, so we're going to wrap that up and move on to the Golden State Finance Authority. Megan Harris is here to talk about down payment assistance that the Golden State provides, folks, and it's really amazing terms. You won't believe it, and you're going to hear all about it right after this commercial break. You're listening to The Power is Now Homebuyer Town Hall. We'll be right back.
Want to keep up with the current developments happening in the world of real estate? The Real Estate Roundtable, hosted by Eric L. Frazier, is a show you do not want to miss. The show features a panel of VIP agents who are passionate about helping people. It is what they do best. They discuss today's hot topics, latest market updates and trends. The panel also conducts interviews with prominent figures in the industry. New episode every Friday live on Facebook and replay on the Power is Now YouTube channel.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power is Now. So far, folks, we've talked about commercial real estate and that, you know, the economy is improving, people are going back to work, people are getting vaccinated. And so hopefully all of this will support real estate and people putting their homes on the market because the inventory is low right now and people getting into the game to buy. We talked about also what are some of the questions you should ask your real estate agent when considering a home to buy. And both Adriana and Megan have done a fantastic job in sharing some questions or things you should consider when buying a property. The one thing that I am confident of, and that is your first question you should ask is, what is your specialty? What do you specialize in? How long have you been selling real estate? Get to know the real estate agent that you're working with and make sure you're dealing with a pro, because you're going to be relying on them to navigate you through these very treacherous waters. They can be, at least, in buying real estate. Well, now we're going to be talking about down payment assistance. And yet still, here we are in 2021. The year is almost done. And yet, the number one barrier to homeownership is still down payment assistance. And folks, we have the solutions for you right here at The Power is Now with Megan Harris. Again, Megan, thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to join us and to talk about this important topic. So take it away.
Well, again, Eric, the pleasure is always mine, and I'm always happy to spotlight what's important at Golden State Finance Authority. What's important is the money we have to offer. We have 2 down payment assistance programs that provide up to 7% on one and 5% on the other in assistance for closing costs and down payment when you are purchasing a primary residence in California. So let's start with the Platinum program. That provides up to 5% in down payment and closing cost assistance for your home buyers. What that's going to do is enable you to increase your purchasing power, especially in a competitive market right now where, you know, things are going over asking. It's really competitive, super hard to kind of get into contract to begin with, right? So it's nice when you can go to the table with the confidence, as Eric said, knowing that you have your finances together. You've already organized the mortgage, and now you have the money for down payment and closing costs. So we have a special program incentive under Platinum for people that have certain occupations. If you work in healthcare, medical, education, law enforcement, EMT, or any kind of organization that provides those services, whether you are a professional or a support staff, you can receive the assistance from the Platinum program as a 100% gift that's immediately forgiven at close of escrow. We also provide the assistance as a gift to borrowers under the Platinum program if they have a USDA loan or if they're getting an FHA energy efficient mortgage. Energy efficient mortgages through FHA allow the borrower, the home buyer, to borrow money from FHA to make energy efficient improvements to their property. A lot of us are having to compromise when it comes to the property selections we are making right now due to the shortage of inventory. And so you may have to get a property where you're making some improvements. And so doing an energy efficient loan may help kind of bridge the gap when it comes to the expenses and making those improvements. So if you're not going to get the assistance from us as a gift under the Platinum Select option, you can get it as a forgivable second mortgage. With a forgivable second mortgage, that's how we provide the assistance to you. It's a lien on your property for 3 years. You don't make any payments at all on that second mortgage. It also doesn't have any interest that will accumulate, and it's forgiven over time. So by the time you get to the 3rd year, it's completely forgiven. You don't owe any money. And let's say you're into the loan for, say, 24 months, and you decide it's a great time to sell, or we need to refinance because rates are looking really good right now. So if you've been in the property for 24 months, that means you have 12 months remaining on the down payment assistance before it's completely forgiven. So if you decide to refi or sell at that 24-month mark, you'd be looking at repaying the unpaid portion, which would be equal to 12 months. But again, there is 0 interest. And so you're not going to have any surprises as to what that amount should be.
Megan, every time I hear the presentation, I'm just amazed. And I'm also thankful. We rely on first responders. I mean, and you just have to have been in a situation to fully appreciate these men and women who put their lives on the line for us. Can you give us any background as to why you guys are able, or how you're able to make the money, the 5% down payment assistance or closing costs, a complete gift to first responders?
Yeah, so that's a great question, Eric. We've structured our program in a unique way so that it's sustainable over a long period of time. A lot of programs that offer down payment and closing cost assistance tend to run out of funding, because the model that they use to fund the program is not self-sufficient, it's not self-supporting, it's not long-term, it's reliant on some kind of public funding or some kind of assistance provided by the government. And so one of the special things about GSFA programs is that all of our down payment and closing cost assistance programs are privately funded. So we have security instruments and whatnot that we use on the back end to keep the programs funded so that we can continue to offer them on a long-term basis and a continual basis, so that our realtor and lender partners can trust that when they come to us to provide assistance to their clients, that we'll be there to support.
Well, that's really fantastic. And what's so great about it is that we don't have to kind of operate in fear. That, oh my goodness, I mean, because you start off at a pre-approval, right? It could be, maybe a week to get the pre-approval done, and then maybe 6 weeks or 9 weeks, or, it could be 3 or 4 months before they find a house in this market. And I have had this happen where people relying on county or city programs and they run out of money.
Exactly, Eric. And it's so tragic. I mean, you get your heart set on this one property and it's perfect for you and your family, and one thing goes wrong and it's gone, right? And so you need the reliability. Whenever we're looking for a service that we absolutely need, housing is a necessity. We need reliability. We need dependability when it comes to those sources that are in place to help us. So that's one of the things I'm most proud of at GSFA, is that we're solid, we're consistent. We've been doing this for over 28 years, and we will continue to do it for many more years to come.
Now, we talked about first responders being able to get this as a grant. And just so I'm clear, and that anyone listening or watching is clear, there is no gotcha here, right? I mean, we're talking about, there's no silent second mortgage. There's no extra paperwork they have to sign that's going to somehow kind of lock them up, put them in a trick bag, as we say in the hood, and where they got to give the money back, right? I mean, this is straight up free money, no gotchas, no gimmicks. It's yours, baby. You get it. You close. You never hear from Golden State again.
That's right, Eric. No trick bag. No trick bag. The gift option under Platinum Select is exactly that. And I know it's so good. It's hard to believe it's true, but it really is. There's literally no catch. There's no gotcha. There's no number of on-time payments you need to make. You need to make your payments on time, right? Because that's just what you want to do as a homeowner. Make sure you keep your home and your credit together. But in terms of the assistance, there's literally no catch. If you get the gift option from the program, it's just that, it's a gift and you can forget it ever happened. If you do get the forgivable second option, all you have to do is wait 3 years. You never pay any extra money. There's not any extra anything you have to do. You just wait 3 years and it's forgiven. So in either case, your worst case scenario is you didn't pay any extra money out of pocket for it. So that's a really good lift, especially for those looking to accelerate their pathway to homeownership. Get out from being a renter and paying someone else's mortgage and start paying your own.
You know what? I'm putting this out there right now. I want to do 500 of these transactions in the month of September. So if you're watching this right now and you do not own a home, and it's only because you don't have the down payment, and you are a first responder, I'm talking policeman, fireman, right? EMT, any of that, any type of first responder, take advantage of this. Reach out to me because I can help you. Now, right? I mean, Megan, they can't go to you directly. They can call you, get information, but you guys do not lend the money, right? Can you explain that for a moment here?
Yes, Eric, and I'm so glad you touched on that because none of this means anything if they can't actually get to it, right? So I can ask and answer all of your questions, but you will need to reach out to Eric if you need assistance getting into the program, if you're interested in more information on the program. We also have a list of participating lenders on our website. So if you want to see, what else is out there in terms of other options you have, if you already are working with a lender and you're curious to see if they're one of our participating lenders, by all means, give us a call or visit our website. But how it works is you will contact one of our participating lenders who will help qualify you for the home loan and the assistance at the same time, because they are a package deal. So there's not a separate application process, which makes it easier on you as the home buyer as well as the lender, because there's less paperwork to keep up with, less cooks in the kitchen, right? Everybody's just focused on their role. So reach out to one of our participating lenders when you're ready to get the process started. And again, it's a home loan that comes with down payment and closing cost assistance. Eric is one of the experts on tap that can help you get to where you're going there.
I love this program, folks. And you can go to applytobuynow.com, applytobuynow.com. You can get pre-approved on this program right away. You'll schedule, in fact, go to itstimetomeet.com, it's timetomeet.com, and schedule time. I can talk to you about your situation. I'm a bona fide expert on this program. First Bank is an approved lender with the Golden State Finance Authority, and it's one of very few banks that are approved with the Golden State Finance Authority. And I don't know why that is, that more banks are not approved. There are quite a few mortgage banks and mortgage brokers, but not a whole lot of banks that are approved with the Golden State Finance Authority offering this program. So again, applytobuynow.com and get this free money. And I wish I could say, get this free money while it lasts, but that wouldn't be true. It's going to be here. It's going to be here. So get this free money while rates are low, because the rates do fluctuate actually. And the rates have been the lowest I have ever seen them to be with the Golden State Finance Authority, with first mortgages. I'm talking about FHA, conventional loans. Rates are in the 2% range for FHA. They're below 3% for conventional loans. And these are unprecedented low interest rates. At these low interest rates, with the fact that you can get the down payment with no interest and you don't have to pay it back, it's amazing. Now, the last question I want to ask is about teachers. Now, I know that there's some teachers out there because they're dealing with these hard-headed, bad kids that might consider themselves first responders. but they're not first responders, but yet teachers are eligible to receive this money as a gift. And I tell you, I'll never forget Mrs. Brown. She was like 6'5" at least, tall African-American woman who used to hit me on my hand with a ruler almost every day because I talked in class. She didn't realize that she was molding a talk show host one day. So I would be talking all the time anyway. But teachers are so important in our society and to the world. I'm glad you guys offer this to teachers, but it's not just limited to teachers and perhaps, public school, right? Any teacher?
That's correct, Eric. So whether they work for an elementary school or a university, they can receive the assistance as long as they're employed by the school, right? Or the education system, as it were, because not everybody is working at a school per se, but they could be still employed by an educational institution. So if that's the case, they could still receive the assistance from Platinum Select as a 100% gift.
Yeah, it's really, really fantastic. Megan, again, you always do such a great job. I appreciate Golden State for making this show a part of their outreach to reach the community and to just get the word out, because I have to tell you, it's rare when I talk to someone about down payment assistance, whether it be by Golden State or any other program, that they're not aware of it. They're not aware of it. And I'm not sure what we can do to get the word out there about the importance of this product and the difference it's making. In fact, talk about that real quickly. How many people have you guys helped in the impact you're having on California?
Eric, I am so proud of the effort that GSFA has made. We've helped over 82,800 families with down payment assistance with over $626 million total. That's incredible. But even still, there's 70% of US adults who don't even realize these programs exist. And that's where we have to change. Eric, you're doing your part. We appreciate you too. Thank you so much for including GSFA. You're making our mission even more manageable by presenting this information and allowing people to receive access to this, because people just don't know what they don't know. So thank you for your platform and inviting us to bring more people into home ownership by making this information more readily available.
The pleasure is all mine. Well, folks, that's the Golden State Finance Authority. And I have more for you. But before we transition to talk about another down payment assistance program, I want to invite Adriana Montes back to the table to tell us about what's happening out there in Florida. Now, I mentioned the other day, or earlier, I mentioned that California is the first sunshine state, but people are leaving California because of the high cost of housing. And there is another state, it's just ironic, they're also called the Sunshine State. And it's unbelievable what you can get in Florida with its beaches and high rises. OMG, folks. In fact, we're going to hear from Adriana in just a minute. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, get ready to be blown away. Florida, the other sunshine state, is in the house. You're listening to The Power Is Now, Homebuyer Townhall. We'll be right back.
The Power Is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, Real Estate Programming Guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate news and information from industry experts. Subscription is free. Sign up today. thepowerisnow.com. thepowerisnow.com.
And we're back. For those of you just joining us, welcome to The Power Is Now, Homebuyer Townhall. Folks, we're having a fantastic time talking about, wow, everything. Commercial real estate, questions buyers should ask. We're talking about Golden State Finance Authority and their down payment assistance. And now we're headed to the other Sunshine State, where Adriana Montes, broker extraordinaire, resides and is the owner of Florida Dreams Realty, going to talk about the opportunities in Florida. Welcome again, Adriana, to the Homebuyer Town Hall.
Thank you so much, Eric. Thank you. I'm so excited. And I'm coming with great news from the Sunshine State. So we have a record on appreciation. Our numbers have kept going up. Since the beginning of the year, our appreciation was about 275,000 for median price. And now in July, we broke record to 320,000. So we had about an 18% increase from July 2020. So that's pretty incredible. Our appreciation numbers are just going up so much. I've been reading some articles about how it says that maybe Florida is over-evaluated. Some markets like Jacksonville, like Tampa, like Miami, but it also talks about how even though it looks like that now, this is gonna over time just become average. And it's not going to be overvalued anymore, because the prices just support that value right now, with so many industries coming into the market, with no inventory, with interest rates being so low. So the increase on the prices still is calling for a really optimistic real estate market in Florida. So also we have less sales, about 5% sales, because we don't have as much inventory as we can support for the demand that we have. And the homes are actually spending a record low in the market for days on market. From the time the house was listed to the time the house was closing, cash for sellers, this is only 26 days. So less than a month in the market from when you list the house to when you're able to get cash for that house. And inventory kept rising as now, after COVID and people becoming more stable and going back to work and vaccines, now they feel a lot safer about and secure about putting their houses for sale. So we have an inventory that keeps increasing. And we're just seeing the housing market starting to level off a little bit from its peak, but it doesn't mean it's less competitive. Sellers are continuing to see the benefits of record high prices, even as more homes are listed for sale. So that's what the National Orlando Regional Association president said. The demand is still strong. A recent survey from the realtors found that majority of sellers plan to buy another house here in Central Florida, which is great news, or in Florida in general. They're competing with people moving from out of state. So that's something that is happening right now. A trend is that people from other states are buying in Florida. And also, as far as the supply, like I was saying before, the supply of homes has ticked up to 3.5 weeks in July 2021. And usually a balanced market has about 6 months of supply. So that's how we can see how low our inventory is. So Florida continues to be a great place to buy, a great place for you to become a first-time home buyer if you don't have a house. I'm still a big believer of the American dream, and the American dream has the dream of homeownership. And there are many advantages to owning a home, such as having a deduction in your mortgage interest rate, in your income taxes, and who doesn't like to pay less taxes. Also, you can have a homestead protection in your primary residence, which means a protection from creditors, and in case something goes wrong, you never know. And your money is also working for you with the appreciation, not you working for your money. And real estate investments in the long-term rental properties or short-term creates cash flow, which is very important for passive income, for retirement income. And there is also pride of homeownership, something that you can call yours. Like now with COVID, we realize the importance of a home. And this is, you can call something your home. You don't have to be renting for somebody or paying somebody's mortgage. And your home could be a place where you raise your family, you create memories. So we are here to give you all of the information on how to purchase a property. Again, if you're renting, being a first-time home buyer is the time right now to do that. And if you already have a house, it's the time now to sell your house, get all the appreciation. A lot of people are selling right now and taking advantage of the appreciation. Or if you got a bigger house, you can, a bigger home, family, you can buy a larger home. If you're an empty nester now, you can buy a smaller home. Or like many people are doing now, you can buy a short-term rental, an investment property in Florida. Florida has great advantages for tax planning purposes, for retirement tax. So it's a great place. And if you wanna retire, or if you wanna build towards your retirement, real estate is still one of the greatest vehicle towards building wealth. If your dream is to be financially independent, you can be an investor of real estate. You can buy, fix and rent, buy, fix and hold. And real estate is still the answer for many people to have some investment for their future and to have a retirement or a passive income. So you should start with your first home and keep building wealth from there. The Sunshine State is here for you. The market is amazing right now. The power is now. The knowledge is now. And yeah, so any questions you have, if you are a buyer or seller, now is the time to buy or sell. My number is 321-689-6258, 321-689-6258, or my email is adriana@floridadreamsrealty.com, adriana@floridadreamsrealty.com.
Adriana, I'm amazed at the price points. I had to giggle a little bit when you said you guys achieved a new record of $320,000. That to me is amazing. That's a record on your median price, which is $275,000. So I want you've been out here in California plenty of times. You know the California marketplace. So I want you to put this in perspective for those who live in high-cost states like California, New York, Seattle, Washington, high-cost states. What do you get for $320,000, this new record high? What do you get?
Well, in Florida, in Orlando, you get a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, about 1,500 square feet. So you get a single-family home. That's what you get here.
And so what would that rent for? If I were to buy a single family, which by the way, I would never buy a single family home as a rental property. If I were a hedge fund, I might do it and I'd buy maybe 10,000 of them. But as an individual, no. I would buy a multifamily property for an investment. But what could I rent a single family home for at $320,000 out there in Florida?
Well, a single family home at $320,000 could be rented for about $1,500 a month.
All right. So it's really affordable to buy. In fact, a lot of people are moving to Florida, right? I remember talking to you a while back about the number of people that are going to Florida from New York and from California.
Yeah, right now we have a lot of people coming, migrating from New York, New Jersey, California, Texas, Arizona. Just from any place.
Wow. Yes. So it sounds like Florida is hot. Inventory is low. But it's not as low as I've seen like here. Here, we're not even maybe 7-10 days, depending on the market area, on the market before it's gone. You still have some time. It's about 26 days, if I recall. You're saying that 26 days on the market before home is selling on the average. Those numbers, are those numbers lower or higher? Has inventory improved at all in Florida?
Eric, those numbers have improved as far as inventory. Inventory has been going up, but it's still, our sales are still low because we have just such a high demand. Even though our numbers are higher for the number of homes that people are putting for sale, we just have more and more. Demand just keeps increasing and values keep going up. So it is a very interesting time.
Outstanding. Well, Adriana, continue with your success in Florida. Thank you for being on our show today and being a VIP agent. Folks, Adriana has shared her information, and for those who are watching on Facebook, you can see it at the bottom of the screen. Reach out to her if you're interested in investing in real estate in Florida, the other Sunshine State, are moving to Florida and taking advantage of some of those reasonably priced homes out there. So let's transition now to the California Housing Finance Agency. They have two programs here that you ought to know about. One is called My Home and the other is called ZIP. Now, what's so special about the California Housing Finance Agency is that you can actually borrow more money. With the California Housing Finance Agency, their maximum loan limit for FHA is $822,375. Actually, that's both the government and conventional limit. $822,375, that's a jumbo loan, right? And so you're able to get down payment assistance buying an $800,000 house? Absolutely, you can. The programs are called My Home and ZIP. Now, My Home will go up to 3.5%, which is FHA's minimum down payment, up to the limit of $822,375. There are some conditions related to that, and I'll get into those in just a minute. In addition to that, they can provide closing costs up to 3% of the maximum loan amount as well. In fact, that maximum loan amount on government loans also includes mortgage insurance. And so it's quite a bit of money. Just do the math, 3% of 800,000, 3.5% of 800,000. It's a lot of money that they're able to provide you to buy a home. Now, where this comes into play is when you're needing to buy a home in a high cost area like LA, Orange County, maybe Palm Beach, Florida, any of these higher and more expensive areas to live. You need a much higher loan amount than I believe it's $548,250, which is the conforming limit. And that just so happens to be the limit that the Golden State Finance Authority will allow. Well, here's the primary difference, though. With Golden State, there's no restrictions. Again, anybody can get the money up to the maximum amount. But the California Housing Finance Agency, they have a few, I would say, exceptions or restrictions. We'll call them both exceptions and restrictions. So, for example, you can get the 3.5% if you're buying a new construction or manufactured home or a single-family home with an ADU. If it's not new construction or a single family home with an ADU or a manufactured home, the most they're going to give you under the My Home program is $11,000. All right, so that's not a whole lot of money, but it is some money at least to help you get into the home, and especially if you have to buy something above the conforming limit of $548,250. Now, there is no such restrictions on the ZIP product. The ZIP product is called Zero Interest Program, and that's just for the closing costs. They'll give you 3% of the total loan amount to closing costs, right? But when it comes to the My Home, you have those restrictions. So if you don't meet those requirements, then you're maxed out at $11,000. Now, there are some exemptions to that. If you're a veteran, you get in a VA loan, you get the full 3.5% or 3% because that's the maximum that they'll provide. On VA loans, on USDA, and on conventional loans is 3%. And again, you can combine that with the ZIP program, which is 3% of the total loan amount. Now, another thing, a big difference between the two is Golden State will let you use the money for closing costs and down payment, or all down payment or all closing costs. There's no restrictions. But California Housing Finance Agency, they're going to limit that My Home, where there's $11,000 or the 3.5% if you're eligible, to just the down payment. So anything above that has got to go to principal. And same thing with the ZIP program. The ZIP is limited just to closing costs. And so if the amount they're giving you exceeds the closing costs, then that will go to principal. All right. So those are some of the other limitations to the program. Now, Golden State doesn't charge any interest at all on their money, but Cal FHA does charge. They charge, right now it's 1%. So it's not a whole lot of money they're charging for My Home, 1%. But the ZIP program is zero interest. And the reason it's zero interest is because it's built into the interest rate. So you're going to pay a slightly higher interest rate for the closing cost credit with ZIP, but there is no interest being charged on the money. Now, those are some primary differences between the two, but there are some more serious differences that you need to take in consideration. And that is, first, with Golden State, they don't require that you be a first-time home buyer. I mean, you can own a home right now and take advantage of their program. California Housing Finance Agency, you must be a first-time home buyer. Absolutely. And a first-time home buyer is anyone who has owned a home, hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years. Now, there are some exceptions to that. People who've had their home, who've lost their homes in the last 3 years through a major fire or natural disaster, then you can be eligible, but you got 3 years to move on that. So if it happened a while ago, then you may, and you're not a homeowner, then it doesn't matter. But if you just happened, say, a year or two ago, take advantage of this exemption where you can get down payment assistance to buy another home because you lost your home in a major disaster. Another exemption would be anyone applying for the Indian Loan Guarantee Program, Section 184 of HUD. So individuals who meet that requirement are also exempted from being a first-time home buyer. And then there's one last one, and this is rare, but sometimes, people who have never owned a home inherit property. They inherited, an investment property, units or something like that. Well, as long as you can prove that you've never moved into the property at all, that you have been renting yourself for the last 3 years, then you would be able to qualify for the program. So those are the 3 exceptions to the program. They're pretty reasonable, but for the most part, you got to be a first-time home buyer to take advantage of the program. Now, here's another big deal, all right? And I think there are 2 big deals, being a first-time home buyer versus not being one. The other big deal is that you have to pay the money back. With the California Housing Finance Agency, you have to pay the money back, all of it, all of it. There are no exceptions to it whatsoever. And with Golden State, you don't have to pay it back. If you meet the requirements to be a first responder, it's a grant from day one. If you don't, it's forgiven over a 3-year period. With the California Housing Finance Agency, there are no payments you have to make. There's no interest on the ZIP. There's a small interest on the My Home, but you have to pay the money back either when you sell the property or refinance the property. You have to pay it back. So those are the differences primarily with the program, folks. And if you're interested in learning more about the California Housing Finance Agency, please reach out to me. I'd be happy to assist you in getting more information and applying for the loan. Go to applytobuynow.com and get started today and learn what you qualify for. If you want to meet with me, go to it'stimetomeet.com. It'stimetomeet.com. Also, you can download my mobile app, which you can apply online there and read about all the programs for both Golden State and California Housing Finance Agency and more. Just go to qualifytobuynow.com. Qualifytobuynow.com. Put in your telephone number, download the mobile app, and get all the information you need. All right, so that's the program, the California Housing Finance Agency. You just heard about the Golden State Finance Authority, and we really appreciate you taking time to join us today. I'm going to invite Megan back on. Megan, again, thank you so much for being a part of the program today and participating. And Adriana Montes had to leave, but reach out to her as well. If you're interested at all in buying real estate in Florida, she can definitely help you. She's been there for a long time and is a top selling agent. So Megan, I'm going to give you the last word as our special guest and presenter. Any final comments or words of encouragement to our listeners and audience today?
Eric, you've done such a great job laying everything out. It's really hard to follow that. All I can do is just encourage the home buying community. You guys, don't count yourself out. Rates are low, so is housing inventory, but you still have options, and Golden State Finance Authority is here to help you pursue that option with down payment and closing cost assistance. So please reach out to Eric or any of our other participating lenders. We have a list of those on our website, which is gsfahome.org. Don't forget the www. Just visit our housing program sections, click on Platinum Down Payment Assistance, and then participating lenders. And any of the lenders listed there should be able to get you in the right direction. Of course, you're always welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. So thank you again, Eric, for having me, and I look forward to being with you again soon.
Thank you, Megan Harris. You always do a fantastic job. I appreciate Golden State Finance Authority Adriana Montes, and our host of VIP agents. Folks, you can find them on our website at thepowerisnow.com under real estate affiliate. Work with a VIP agent. I promise you will not be disappointed. Again, if you're looking to get finance, please reach out to me. My name is Eric Frazier. My license number is 461-807. You can reach me directly at 714-475-8629, 714-475-8629, or you can download my mobile app and have access to all the information I've shared with you today at qualifiedtobuynow.com. Well, remember, we are at our best and we maximize our success when we act now. The power is now. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.
The Power is Now Media is worldwide with growing audience of future homebuyers, investors, builders, developers, real estate agents, and brokers. The Power is Now Media is well positioned to increase awareness and produce results for our growing roster of advertising partners. An advertisement on any of our platforms is the right step toward reaching and communicating key brand messages to a targeted network of individuals, families, and communities interested in housing. Our content areas include feature stories and profiles on successful real estate agents, business owners, government, and community leaders. The Power is Now magazines are the leading resource for real estate agents, mortgage bankers, entrepreneurs, and small home ownership businesses, providing leaders with business strategy information, resources, and tools through PIN, real estate, and programming guide magazines. Stay up to the minute with real estate and mortgage news and information from industry experts. VIP agents are able to feature listings each week. The Power is Now TV radio podcast features weekly shows that include Homebuyers Townhall, Real Estate Roundtable, VIP Agent Spotlight, and so much more. Each week, VIP agents have opportunities to be featured guests on the shows. VIP agents can discuss and showcase houses, neighborhoods, and provide brief introduction. The interviews are unlimited 10 to 15 minutes on each current listing. This product alone separates you from your competition. The Power is Now delivers to you market update interview to promote listing weekly, promotional biographical video, co-host a bi-monthly Homebuyers Town Hall show, featured subject matter expert on Real Estate Roundtable show, The Power is Now program guide e-magazine, The Power is Now national e-magazine, article writing and blogging, social media content customization, inclusion and press releases, graphic design services, business and performance coaching, technology support, referrals, lead generation opportunities, and management support.